That's all right.
Shall we call the meeting to order?
Sure.
Okay, so in attendance is Don Bassi, Elizabeth Hogan, Mike DeFrancesco, and Francis Whitney, and the illustrious Mark Berry. And let's look at the approval of minutes. I did see one, which was probably just, I know it was just a spelling error on golf instead of golf, G-U-L-F instead of G-O-L-F.
Don, where was that in the,
When we were talking about,
Oh, it's on page 2 under
Okay.
correspondence and communications.
yeah,
oh, yeah, okay.
Sadly, that is not shocking. I apologize.
no, not at all. But other than that, they look pretty good to me.
They look fine to me. I didn't see anything.
Anybody else? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes as submitted with the one spelling correction.
Any seconds?
I'll second.
Okay, Mike, gotcha.
Okay, so moved. Any questions or discussion? Okay, let's move along. Citizens, petitions, and comments. No contact?
Nope.
Okay.
I've actually heard some positive feedback from the donation collection thing in the neighborhood.
Oh, in Deerfield.
Yeah, it's out there.
Excellent. Oh, good. Yeah, they, I got an email from Bill from ARC, and I think he said they were putting it out last week, and I told them that we would wait. They did go out prior to putting it out and handed out flyers to kind of the immediate neighbors. And then they also brought it out on a trailer on a Saturday, just so that people could kind of see what it looked like. And I think he said some neighbors stopped by and asked a couple of questions. So I'm pleased to hear that there's been some positive comments. Then I will share that with him.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we have 5 of those now in town at different parks. And it's really surprising the number. We've got one, and I probably have already said this. They have one at Pequannock Plains Park, and they get close to 1,000 cans a week.
Wow,
Which is,
Wow.
yeah, I know, I couldn't believe it. I was,
that's great.
yeah. And that all goes to support the programs that ARC are in charge of. So I think it's a win-win.
Mhm.
Excellent. Any other citizens' comments or petitions? Town council referrals?
No referrals.
Nada. Correspondence and communications?
None to me.
Okay. Mark, you're on.
Okay, so in addition to the printed report, I have a few updates. As I said, mentioned a couple of minutes ago, it's been a busy week. Monday night, the RTM approved the department budgets, all 3 of them. And I don't recall if I mentioned this at the previous meeting, but as we were going through the budget process with the town council, they made a motion to actually add an additional person to the staff in the Parks Division beyond the budget that I had presented.
Wow.
And yes, and that carried through the RTM subcommittee and the full RTM. And in fact, when I presented the budget Monday night, there was not a single question, which was, I was surprised, because we had proposed to put additional money in for the after-school program, and also an additional full-time person, a program supervisor, who would be supporting current staff and also working on cultural and neighborhood festivals and events, which is something that came out of the recreational needs assessment, that we weren't meeting the community's expectations. So, you know, the budget was up. I think the personnel budget was up 13%. And, you know, I thought that was going to be a pretty big target, but it passed with no questions at all. So I thought that was wonderful. And our special revenue fund passed also, and the golf course budget passed also. So so that was good. Tuesday night, I went in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission for lights around the walking path at Pequannock Plains Park, and that passed, which was great news. Wednesday night, what's today? Last night I went back to the RTM to have them make a decision on accepting a grant that I had written back in 2019. It's a transportation alternative plan grant, and it's to improve bicycling from Depot Road out to Route 1 and then South Road out to Thomas Road. That project was originally proposed in the Bike and Pedestrian Master Plan in 2004, and it's taken us 20 years to actually move the project forward. But last night the RTM agreed to the entire project is 1.17 million, and the state is giving us 936,000, and the town has to come up with the other 20%, which was 234,000. And so the RTM last night approved that also. So so it's been a busy week, and I think by all accounts a good week. Barry Dunn that's the consultants that's working with us on the master plan. They are coming June 28th to Groton to do a public presentation on they're calling it a findings report. So they're going to present to the public what the public has, the results from the survey, key trends analysis, level of service analysis, and a couple of other pieces of information. They want to get public feedback before they make final recommendations and come back. So the meeting is, again, June 28th. It's going to be in Community Room 1 at the Annex, which is the large room. And it's going to be from 6:30 to 8. Hopefully you all can make it just to hear, you know, what they have to say. It will be recorded if you can't make it. I've made arrangements to have the library there to film it. But it will give you an opportunity to hear what they have to say, and also public feedback before they put their final the final report together.
So, Mark, is this for the like the thing that's been going on with all the fields?
No. This is the recreation master plan.
Okay.
It was started, well, I think back in October or maybe September. We started working with them, and we did focus groups, stakeholder meetings, had a number of focus group meetings and stakeholder meetings, and then there was a public participation where people could come and share their thoughts, and from there we went to a written survey, and they've also been doing other research looking at town demographics, and also trends in recreation and what they were seeing in our within our town. And then also they had staff that spent a couple of weeks going to every single park and doing an assessment of each one of the parks. So they're going to be sharing most of that information at this findings presentation on June 28th.
What time again and location did you say was?
June 28th from 6:30 to 8 at Community Room 1 in the annex, which is just down the hill from the police station.
Mark, I'm not familiar with that community room. Is it a lot? Do you know what the capacity is? Roughly?
Uh,
Is it-
I don't think it's real big.
Yeah, I couldn't get the main room in the at Thrive. It was already booked.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, the Democrats are having some kind of a something, and it's been booked for a while apparently. So it probably holds. Well, I've been in there when it was packed. There was probably a couple hundred people, but it was standing
Oh,
room
okay.
only. Yeah.
Is this the one the town council's in? That
Yes,
occurs in?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So I think that's, oh, I do have a couple of updates. Dom, I did reach out to GOSA.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Dan O'Connell, who is the president of GOSA, he's actually on an extended vacation. And he's still on vacation. But he said when he gets back, he would reach out to me and they, I think their vice chair, I can't think of her name, but she actually worked for the National Parks Association. And she has a pretty robust background in resource management and so hopefully they can help us maybe expand the trail network out there.
No, that'd be great. And I'd be happy to, to lead a safari through the
Okay.
through the wilderness there.
Okay. All right. We'll get you a machete and
Yeah.
helmet.
and a hat. Yeah.
That's right.
Indiana Jones hat and
Well, thank
Yeah.
you for doing that, Mark. I think
Sure.
that's going to be a real good thing.
Yeah. And Michael, I did reach out to the printing company. They printed QR codes up, but I've got to call them back because they didn't explain what the QR code was. All you have is this code,
Oh, no.
but they didn't put on it, scan to download course map. So, I just got them this week and I've got to call them back and say, look, you forgot kind of an important part.
Yeah, no, thanks. Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, I think it for the director's report.
So Mark,
Okay.
I got two questions on it.
Yes.
The transportation grant. So I was gonna ask you what it was, but you answered that question. Is there a picture? So like, you've been working a while. Is there like a concept picture? Like you kind of mentioned where this trail goes between, but is there like a sketch picture that you could send to us of, where this thing is going?
Of
Or is that like
the,
the next phase? Like you
of
said,
the
there's gonna
route,
be a trail or something that gets added.
for the transportation alternative plan grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can send you something. It's pretty much on-road bike lane markings, down Depot Road, out onto South Road, out onto Route 1, and then South Road out to Thomas Road. But I'll make a note and I'll send everybody an image of, I'll put together like a 2-page kind of explanation of what we're talking about. And this is, at this point, it's conceptual. The next phase is going to be hiring a consulting team that will kind of work on the details. There'll be a public engagement process where people can provide more feedback. We did this originally back in 2019, and when we submitted the grant, we actually scored second just behind Norwich. And Norwich due to the size of their project, there was not any money available for Groton. And so the project has just kind of sat for the last 2 or 3 years. And last August, I got a call saying that the federal government was putting more money into this particular grant, and they weren't going to ask for everybody to resubmit their projects. And because we scored second, we were at the top of the list.
Wow.
So, yeah, but I will send something out to everyone.
Thanks. So it's pretty much like the one that's by the Groton sub base. They added those bike lanes on the side of the road. I don't know. If
Yeah,
that's
but these are going to be actually on road. The ones on the sub base are, the ones that I've seen are considered kind of off road. I mean, there's a clear separation.
there's a medium between them.
Yeah,
then some-
exactly. This, what we're looking at now, there would be no median. There'd be no medium. So
Got it. So
you
there's
probably,
eight.
well, yeah, if you drive down Thomas Road, there's white lines, probably 3 to 4 feet wide, with bike lane markings along them, and it will look similar to that.
Okay, so will the street will be widened then to add the bike lanes?
In some sections, that is part of the proposed plan that was put together. A lot of it is just going to be narrowing the road, and to allow for a wider path for bikes.
Right. And the reason I'm asking, Mark, is like if you look by like Waterford, and they did like by like the BJ's over there, they made there used to be a 2-lane road, they made it to a single lane road. And if you look how they did the bike path, they put sewers right in the middle of the bike path, and I don't think that road bikers like that very much. So like on the
Oh,
side
yeah,
of the road,
definitely
sewers. So like
not.
I'm just saying, like there's things
Yeah.
that I think you want to consider, right? Because I feel like that was a fail, and that bike path went from some place to some place where you would never bike to. So it was that considerations should be taken. I'm not a road biker, but I would feel
Yeah.
like those things you'd want that community to weigh in on, so that you're getting something that's used and not something that looks cool, but when it gets to reality, it's really not what that group would want.
Yeah, last night at the RTM, there was actually probably 5 or 6 individuals that stood up and spoke, and 2 or 3 of them were previous EB employees that lived in Mystic or Nowak, and they said they actually used to ride that route to work, and spoke highly of the fact that we were doing this to make it safer for them. And as I mentioned earlier, this was originally planned back in the 2004 Bike and Pedestrian Master Plan. The goal was to create what they called an east-west bikeway, and it was to connect the town of Groton with the city of Groton, and also allow a safe route for citizens to kind of get to work. So I think they were focused on Pfizer and EB, which is, both over in that area. So that was the original plan. It just unfortunately took us 20 years to come to fruition. So certainly I road bike every weekend, and sewer grates on the side of the road are not really appreciated.
Any other questions or concerns or issues for Mark? Okay, unfinished business. I don't know if we have any.
Whoops.
Any new business?
Oh, Don, we skipped over the golf course.
Oh, I thought you didn't, when you
Well,
said the director's report was over, I thought that
Oh,
was.
yeah, well, so the golf course continues to, we continue to enjoy robust play. We are tracking ahead of last year. And last year was our best year, and the year before that was our best year, and we continue to have our best years. Dom, I don't know if you've been out or driven by the course, but there's a lot of construction going on.
There is, yes.
Yeah, currently they're working on 13 bunkers on the course. And they've got another couple of weeks of worth of work to complete um, that, and that will make a big improvement. And they're also expanding some of the tee boxes. You know, when this course was originally designed, it was designed for about 10,000 rounds a year, and we're averaging between 30 and 35,000 rounds a year. So the tee boxes get beat up quickly, just given the number of players that are teeing off. So they're increasing at least one of the tee boxes.
Yeah, Mark, so I played it Tuesday. That was my first time playing this year. I'll say there was a lot of construction going on. A lot of the sand pits were, kind of like all pulled out. So
Yeah.
looks like it'd be good. Looks like it was coming. Like they were kind of like, almost in the I'll call it the demo phase. Looked like it was fairly done in all those areas, and they were
Yeah.
going to move on to the, regrass, re-sand.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I think Eric, the golf course superintendent, said that yesterday they laid down 3,000 square feet of sod. So, yeah, it's when it all kind of sets in, I think you're going to notice a big difference, and the bunkers won't be nearly as deep as they have been, because those bunkers have never been renovated. So they're over 100 years old.
Wow.
Oh, something I just thought of. We have worked with the library, and they're putting together a display of some of the artifacts, old pictures, and various other items from Shinnecock. This is Shinnecock's 125th anniversary. So if you go into the library, they have their really beautiful display case. You'll see Shinnecock there from now. I think the library director said until August. So
Oh, wow.
for the whole summer, it will be there. Yeah. And Jim Streeter is supposed to be bringing over some material, and they had some trophies that they were going to put in that date back, over 100 years. So if you get a chance, swing by. It'd be kind of interesting.
So where are those trophies coming from, Mark?
Some of them are coming right from the pro shop, and some, I think there's a gentleman that has purchased some that were for sale online. There is, every once in a while, there's excuse me, there is a golf auction with historic stuff, and Eric scours that, and other people do, and trophies that players won 80 years ago sometimes pop up, and
Wow.
folks that play at Shinnecock, they're like, oh, this would be kind of cool to buy, so they bid on them, and so there's a gentleman in town that I think has a few kind of old trophies.
Huh.
Yeah. Yep.
So in lining with the golf course, it's a Donald Ross course, and if I'm not correct, I think it's known, Donald Ross courses are known for their sand traps, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah,
it's good that you're redoing the bunkers and whatnot. So
right.
yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, they're both for the traps, and I think they call them the turtle top greens. So
Oh God, I don't want to talk about that fourth, fifth hole.
yeah,
It's brutal.
yeah,
It's brutal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the
Yeah.
characteristics of a Donald Ross course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mark, two things on the course. One, you had mentioned when we talked the rates, the golf carts were going to be new. I didn't really, so I don't usually take a cart, but they didn't really look new to me this year. Are they coming in later in the year?
Yes, they are coming. We I think we have to wait until the new fiscal year. I actually think they're coming in August. They're still trying to get caught up from, what was everybody calling it? The delays in shipping, where what was that? Oh, I can't think of what it was called. Anyway,
from
that,
from the COVID
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
yeah, the shipping or the supply chain. Yeah,
Yeah.
the supply chain.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Um,
I think it's August that they're coming.
Okay, sounds good. And then an idea for you, like you mentioned, like the history thing, right? So cool. I'll tell you, I don't frequent the library very much, to be honest, but being the golfer there, right? In the clubhouse there or in the restaurant, if a couple of those pictures appeared, probably people that play the course might enjoy a mural or something of call it a I don't want to call it a smorgasbord, but like a one of those boards with old pictures or something. That might be a
Oh,
cool
yeah.
idea. I mean, if they're photocopies, you don't have to be like the original picture, right? But people might enjoy some history on the wall, so to speak. There, some
Right, right. And they actually have up on the wall course champions, and they go back quite a ways back. And Eric Morrison, the superintendent, he's big into antiques, and he will go to different shows and search through, and he's found like postcards from that show the old hotel. And whenever he finds something related to Shinnecock, he'll collect it, and he posts a lot of those on Thursdays on Facebook. I think Thursday is Throwback Thursday, so and they always generate a lot of interest.
So when two things on the golf course, Mark.
Yep.
One, the what they're doing with what they did with the tee boxes over the winter, I think needs to be they need to be commended on it, because they typically cover all of the tee boxes,
Right.
most of them, not all of
Yeah.
them, but most of them. So that's a lot of work, but when they take them off in the spring, you could really see the results. The second thing I wanted to say is where I go in Florida, there's a Donald Ross course there, and it's called the Dunedin Golf Course. That's a Donald Ross course also, but they have a showcase in the as you go into the pro shop restaurant. There's a
Yeah.
big showcase of all historical things, all of the trophies, the pictures like Mike was talking about, the postcards that Eric might get. That would be a really wonderful thing for people that are entering the restaurant or pro shop or whatever to
Right.
see. And
Yeah.
that's all I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my idea, Dom. Something cool like that, like a little. Doesn't have to be elaborate.
Yeah.
But, cheap Walmart
That's-
frames work, right? Something cool like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay. Trails, Mark.
Yeah, that meets quarterly, and we haven't met since the
Okay.
previous commission meeting.
Athletic fields.
Yeah, I think at the last meeting I mentioned that the council had approved us moving forward. Now we just have to kind of write the RFP to bring on a consultant to do the detailed plans.
Okay.
But that hasn't happened yet.
Okay. And you mentioned agency accreditations, I think.
Yeah, we continue. Elizabeth has been coming in on a regular basis, and we continue to plug away at that as best we can. It's a little challenging in the office right now. We're down 50% of our staff. I did interview 5 financial assistants on, what's today? I guess I did that Monday and or Tuesday. So we'll be making an offer to somebody shortly. The program supervisor position to replace Ben's vacancy. I think that we reopened those because we weren't really happy with the first group of candidates. So we reposted that position, and I checked last week, and I think we had about 7 or 8 more applicants. Now, that doesn't mean they're good. I didn't look at them. I just saw that we had 7 or 8 more.
That's good.
So, yeah, we're working towards kind of slowly filling those positions, and community outreach coordinator, I think that position was posted today. So we're slowly working our way, but poor Ben, he's running ragged trying to do 2 jobs.
Any other questions for Mark about any of those items? Okay, any unfinished business? I don't know of any, okay. New business, any new business?
So I got two items here, Mark. One,
Okay.
I think Fran had mentioned previously. So one thing that was interesting to me is I think you kind of released a new system for signing up online.
Oh,
Not really that
yes.
system, but I did notice too, it was very interesting. So I get like the Parks and Rec emails to my work email and my home email, right? And the last month, I think Fran said they went to spam. My home ones went to spam, but my work ones didn't, which was very unique because being at EB, I would have expected that the security
Yeah.
posture would have been higher, but maybe there's a setting if that's happening for others. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
we have had a few people call and say that the emails that we sent out went to spam, and I'm not really sure why. And Michael, thank you for mentioning that. We did, I think I've mentioned before that we were migrating away from the software that we've been using for the last 10 years. We did a soft rollout last weekend. We notified just all those people that play summer volleyball. We gave them a link so that they could set up their households and register their teams. And that went very, very well. I think we brought in about $13,000 or $14,000 just over a few days. And then we did a hard rollout this past Monday, and that also has been going very well. We've had a few little glitches, but the feedback that I've received is that it's much easier to sign your kids up for like summer camp. With the old system, you would have to answer the same series of questions for every single week that you took the camp. With this new system, you answer the questions once, and then it allows you to sign up for all the different weeks of camp. So, like you said, the feedback that I've received is that it's much easier to use than the old system. We're still figuring some things out, but overall, and it's much more mobile friendly. The old system was not mobile friendly. So the new system is working well so far. But I will check on the spam issue.
yeah, I mean, it's just odd, right? And I'm thinking if it doesn't affect a good majority of the people, and if you're getting, I think I looked at the one, I think in your stats in the director's report, there was a stat for people signing up for programs, right? It seemed like just before COVID it was high, and then it's been climbing back up again. I think it was in that
Right.
one, but obviously expect a decline, but you probably won't get as many if the word doesn't get out.
Right. And our printed Discover brochure is being printed now, and I think we'll probably be going out probably towards the end of next week. So that will help too. But yeah, I can check into the spam, and I don't know if it's due to the volume of emails that go out. If somebody's system says, well, here's 10,000 emails that are going out, it's got to be spam, and it automatically throws it into that. So maybe we can break down the number of emails that go out each
Per
time.
batch or something. Yeah.
Yeah, try to batch them a little bit smaller or something.
That
Yeah.
could be the answer. Just who knows what it costs, but that could be it. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I have the same problem as Mike.
Oh, is that right, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I always check my spam, and that's where I find my Parks and Rec newsletters.
Huh. Okay. All right, well, we'll dig into that. Thank you for sharing that.
The only other question I had is, so I know I went to last night, I went to like there was like a resiliency and sustainability forum, and then there was an email that came out last month for a separate one, I guess, down on May 2nd or something. Is there
Right.
any, so like, we're Parks and Rec, but I know we're looking at one project in the Connecticut Plains area for like resiliency. Is there any, it seems like, for our kind of country right now, right, we're all about going green and sustainability. That's like the hot topic, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything that we should know about from commissioners that the parks is pursuing in that area that should be brought to light?
Well, as you
Besides-
mentioned, yeah, there is the project of Quantic Plains Park, and the other project that we're working on is that joint effort with the Nature Conservancy and tearing up 28,000 square feet of pavement and putting in porous pavers in the big parking lot across the street from Esker Point Beach. That's probably the other biggest project related to sustainability and resiliency that we're working on right now.
I'm all set, thanks.
Okay.
Anybody else? Any new business?
Just a reminder that Club 55 is having its flea market this Saturday from 9 to 1. It's the major fundraiser for the organization for community projects. So,
And I think the library is also having a plant sale and there's a
and a
book
book
sale.
sale.
Yes, so
Yeah.
that will be a busy place.
And that's this weekend?
This Saturday. Mhm.
Oh, nice. Okay. So I'm sitting at a light, Mark, and, I'm trying to swallow this Thrive 55 thing going on, the name.
Yeah.
And at the light, you know what I'm gonna tell you? Sitting in front of me is the Groton Senior Center
Said the van.
van. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, my God,
Yeah.
maybe we
are-
could get some paint or something and,
Just
Stickers.
spray can.
yeah, spray can with something.
Yeah,
But, I think it's going pretty good, but
it is, yeah.
those
We-
little
we-
things like that.
Yeah, we do have a new van coming in, I think sometime this fall, and it is going to be, you won't see Groton Senior Center on it. It's going to
Right.
say Thrive 55, so,
Great.
yeah. And the plan is as we kind of cycle through those vehicles, all of them will be turned over.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Anything else, folks? Well, it appears as though our next meeting is June 8th. And do I have any motions to adjourn the meeting?
Make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Sure.
Is there a second out there?
I'll second it, and then Mark, just let us know if June 8th is in person or virtual before we end. Thanks.
Okay, it's I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be in person. But it will be recorded, so if you couldn't make it, you could watch it and share comments, to me or actually probably to the consulting group.
And is that the one, June 8th, you said?
No. Oh, I'm sorry, Michael.
Yes, June 8th.
Yeah,
talking
June
about June
8th is
28th.
June 8th is the commission meeting. Yes, and that is, I think that's virtual. I've got to
That's
check
right.
the schedule.
I-
Yeah.
I don't think it is, tell you the truth, but
Oh, you think it's in person?
I thought so.
Oh, I don't have this. I don't think I have the schedule with me, so I'll check and let everybody know.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It was good seeing everybody.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good one.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.